So I'm going to get set up and get ready to start working on some of these other parts in here. And once I get all set and I'm ready to go, I'll get you guys in here and we'll take a look and see what's going on. All right. Okay, so I'm set up. We're going to go ahead and get started on getting the upper control arm taken care of. I'd like to go ahead, man, I'm having trouble with this phone. I'd like to go ahead and get the ball joint out of it. So I got it set up on the press. We're going to go ahead and push that out right now and see, see if we can't get this thing cleaned up, finish getting it cleaned up, getting it painted, and getting it ready to go back on the car. All right. So you can see here, got it in the press, got it all set up. We should be able to just kind of push that out of there now. It's nice and easy. Oh, there she goes. All right. So we got it out. There you go. All right. So we got it. Got it taken care of. Let's get it out of here. All right. All right. There you go. So we got it out of there. Nice and clean. Here it is laying down on the floor. All right, so we got the bad one out, and as soon as the new ones come in after I get this all painted, we'll go ahead and get this thing taken care of. Okay, so I've got the other A-arm from the other side out and in the vise, and I'm getting ready to go ahead and pull the nut off of the ball joint so we can go ahead and get that one pressed out as well. And I don't know if you can tell, but it is ridiculously hot here right now in Florida. So bear with. All right, so here we go. All right, so here we are. We got it in, and we're going to go ahead and see if we can't. There we go. All right. So we got it. See if we can't get this out, and then we will get set up. All right, I got it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and grab a wrench, get this out, and then I will come back and we'll get this one pressed out. Okay, so I got that out, got it all set up. Take a look here, and we'll go ahead and press this one out, and then we can get these things ready for paint. Well, it came out, but it came out really fast. All right, so we got it out, and we'll go ahead and get this thing ready for some paint, and we can get it put away. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get these in the acid again, just to get one last cleanup on them. Now that I got those ball joints out of there and kind of get in that area where the ball joints were, and just let this thing get good and clean before we go ahead and get some paint on it. All right, so we got the acid bath right here. We're just going to go ahead and sink that in there. And we're going to go ahead and do the same with that one. We'll go ahead and cover it up. And that'll just take a couple hours and we'll be able to. So in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and break down the lower control arms and get some of the nuts and bolts off of that. And that one just needs a little bit of grinding to get the ball joints off of it. And we'll go ahead and get it ready for paint as well. All right. Okay, so I've got this set. We're going to start stripping off some of the stuff from this lower control arm and see if we can't get it. All right, so you can kind of see here, I've got this right here, which mounts to the fender of the car, or the inner fender there, and then this bolt here. So I need to get this out. I need to get the sway bar uplink out of here, and then I also need to get the ball joint off of here. So all these things, we're going to have to try and tear this down so we can get it ready to paint and get it put away and ready for the car as well. So let's go ahead and see if we can't get this to break. I'll hold this here, and yep, there she goes. All right. You can kind of see I got the vice grips holding the other end so it don't turn, because I've cut them while I was tearing them out of the car. I went and cut the uplink. It just made it easier. And I knew I was going to be replacing them, so I went ahead and did that. right, so she's coming off nicely. Okay. I think it's, well, guess it's not coming. Where's it turning? Oh, I see. All right, 1 second. I'm gonna have to get this tighter. All right, so here's where I'm at. I wasn't gonna be able to get the sway bar link out that way. I'm gonna have to go ahead and hit it with the grinder. So we'll get that here in a second. But I'm gonna go ahead and get the swivel here that mounts to the inner fender broke loose, and I already did get it broke loose. I had to use a pipe, you know, with some extension on there and get some leverage, and I finally did get that to break. So loose and ready to come off. So there we go. So there we go. She's coming off. We should be able to get that all taken apart now and get it all cleaned up. All right. Okay. All right. We'll get this back to the table, and we'll have to do a little bit of grinding. Actually, we'll probably get this set up and grind. I got to grind these rivets off here, and then I'm gonna have to grind through here and get that knocked off there, and then get that out. So let me go get the grinder set up and see if I can't get that taken care of. Okay, so you can see here I cut through this end here. It was more like this, and you can see here I got that cut and was able to get that out of there. And you can see here I've got these rivet heads ground down, and I'm going to go ahead and punch those through, and then I'll show you what I got after I get those punched out. Okay, so I got it stripped down. Took a little bit more than I thought it was going to. I've never pulled one of these apart before, so ended up having to get the air chisel out as well as the grinder, so I was able to get some grinding done. Got it so far, but really at the end it off. So you can kind of see here I just kind of took the chisel and kind of went up underneath that rivet head, and once I kind of started knocking them off, I got that one, and I started on this one. You can kind of see right here. But what I ended up doing as I was doing that, it just kind of vibrated enough in it to where now she's come completely loose. So we got it off, and you can see we ground the heads on the other side, and got to them. We'll have to punch that one out, but that shouldn't be hard. And then I just take off this here. You know, we'll get that off, get that off, and then we can get this thing ready for paint. But I got to get the other one done yet. So let me go ahead and get the other one done. I'm not going to go video that. You know, we've done this one. So let me get the other one broke down, and then we'll go ahead and start the process of getting this cleaned up and ready to paint. Okay, so I just want to show you, I've got this thing completely disassembled. I got the rubber bushings and out of here. We had to press them out just like, you know, we did the ball joints. And this is cleaned up nice. It's all ready to go. Just got to get that back in the acid wash, get it cleaned up. Same here. This is all ready to go. We got the alignment shims cleaned up. They're pretty well ready to go, just in the bolts. So this whole thing is ready to go to get cleaned up one last time and go ahead and get painted. So I'm going to go ahead and bust this one down, do the exact same thing, and get them both ready to paint. Okay, so got everything broke down. I've got some of them sitting in the acid right now, trying to get them cleaned up. And so what I got going on over here is those upper A-arms. I went ahead and got them out of the acid, and I went ahead and put some rust reformer on them just to clean up anything that may be left on them. So that'll sit overnight, and once that's dry and ready to go, then I will go ahead and give that a primer coat, and then I'll go ahead and give it a top coat, and then those can be packaged up and put in a box. So next, I'll have to get everything out of the acid that's in there now, so I can do kind of the same thing that I've done to these and get them kind of to the same place. So I can try to get this front and rear suspension kind of finished, at least as far as I can go, you know, besides waiting on bushings and the other set of leaf springs. But I should be pretty much good to go then on the front and rear suspension, as far as, you know, me cleaning up and, you know, revitalizing those parts. All right, we'll go ahead and pick this back up once I get those things out of the acid and get them cleaned and ready to go, to get some rust reformer on them, and then we'll pick it back up at the paint. All right, here's where we're at. So I've been able to get the painting done on the front suspension, the lower, the upper arms, and all the different types of stuff that goes with that. And I just want to kind of go ahead and show you all that and kind of show you where I'm going next. All right, so let me go ahead and switch this. All right, so as you can see here, I've got my lower, and then these are my upper A-arms. Then you got your brackets here that go to this, you know, so you get your swinging motion, and then all the hardware's all been cleaned, de-rust. You got your shims for doing your alignment. So we got all that. It's all painted, prepped, and ready to go. On this car, I'm going to be painting all of the arms are going to be painted silver. So all the rest of this will remain black, but that's why this is kind of a duller color. It's a primer. And so these are ready now for the final paint. All right, guys. Well, looks like paint day's got here. It's always one of my favorite days. All right, let's do it. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and get the metallic silver mixed. Get it in here so we can go ahead and start getting some paint on. All right. 1-to-1 mix. All right, let me get you in, let you see what this is here. You can kind of see it's got that nice metallic look. Okay, here we go. Let's go ahead and get some coats on this thing. Okay, here goes coat 2. 2. All right, we're gonna switch. We got pretty good coverage, so I'm gonna go ahead and switch to clear coat. All right, so I got the clear coats all mixed. We're ready to go. So let's go ahead and start getting some clear on this. Okay, so got the spraying done, nothing left but the drying. So I'm gonna get everything cleaned up so we can get all this gook off me. And then once those are dry, we'll just let them sit out there for a while, make sure they're good and dry, unless we get some rain come in or something. But it looks good right now. All right, I'm gonna get cleaned up, and we'll get back at you when this is all done, and I'll show you the end results. All right, so just a quick note. I've got everything done, painted, and ready to be put away until I get ready to install. So let me just give you a quick look at the parts that I've got painted. All right, so here you go. So we got both our upper A arms and our lower control arms here. And they all painted up really nice. They're gonna look really good underneath there. And so I'm gonna package these up on getting the spindle, the brakes, and all that off. And I've already kind of gotten some of this apart. I just kind of wanted to go over this with you, and I got the full one here, and I can kind of show you between both of them. But if you start here, you can see that the calipers are a little bit different in the Thunderbird than a lot of other cars. Maybe Ford did this in some other cars, but what you've got is a 2-piece caliper. So you got the caliper on this side, and you got a half a caliper on this side, and they're bolted together using these, sorry about that, using these 2 bolts here, and I'm not even like a spline socket or something like that. So you can kind of see here the spline socket. Anyways, you can take those off, and that separates those 2 halves, and then this brake line runs from one half to the others, because this has brake pucks on either side. There's one here, and then 2 on the other side as well. And so this brake line brings the fluid to the other side. So kind of, that's where that's at. So to separate the 2 halves, you're here and here, these 2 splines, and then you go back to your regular hex bolts, and that takes this whole unit, brakes and everything, off of the spindle. Okay, so that's kind of where we're at with this. So you can kind of see here we've got. I'm getting used to doing this thing with the phone, so I'll get better. But what you got here is the brakes have already been removed, and I've already got them in the acid bath and kind of cleaning them up, so I can kind of see if those things are salvageable, if I'm gonna have to get some others. So anyways, the next step then is I need to get the rotor off of the spindle, because these rotors aren't any good. Let me get in here and kind of see that this bottom here is really thin. There's not much left to that. This here is okay, but either way, these are bad. We're gonna have to get new ones. So we need to get them off. So the next step, you've got the dust cap here. You've got your locking mechanism that goes over the bolt. And then all that's held in with this cotter key. And I've already pulled that. This just slides off just like that. And then this comes off. Okay. Then there's a washer. Kind of get that, and you'll see that. All right, so then there's a washer, and it's got a keyway right here. You can kind of see that. We'll keep that in there. Okay, And then what we're going to want to do, sorry about that, is we're going to want to pull this bearing out. We're not going to keep this bearing, so I'm not too concerned about it. We just want to get it out of there. But we don't really have to, because I can really pull the whole caliper off, or the disc off of here. We're just going to do that. I need 2 hands to do that, so give me a second. I'm going to go ahead and just, really all I'm going to do is just grab this and just lift it straight off of there, and you'll see as soon as I get back. Okay, so we're back, and you can see now I pulled this off. It just lifted right off. So the bearing just came right out of there. It's right here. Now this grease in here is like peanut butter, so there's no way I'm going to reuse those bearings. They're going to be garbage, and we'll get some new bearings. So okay, so the next thing I want to do is I need to get this splash or dust shield or whatever you want to call it off, because I want to get it in the acid bath and get it cleaned up, and then that'll have the spindle all the way down to kind of its bare essentials of all that's left on it. And then that can be cleaned up as well. So let me go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and get this off, and then we will deal with this right here. More than likely, I think what I'm going to do here with the rotor, we're going to probably go ahead. I got to get this separated, and not sure how hard that's going to be. This is pretty rusted. So I'll take a look at that, and then we'll get back on camera with what we're going to do with that. But for now, let me get this splash shield off and get it in the acid bath, and then we'll go from there. All right? Okay, so kind of next in this process is getting this grease seal off of here, off the backside. And really, I just got in here and just popped it. She came right off. Not a big deal. So we'll take that. Of course, we're going to throw that away. We'll get a new one. All right, so, and then the bearings should just come right out like that. Easy job right there. No big deal. All right, so the next thing, I'll turn it over. We're going to need to pop all of these out of there. Not really sure. Let me get in here, so let's just see. Okay, we got one, so looks like we'll be able to just knock them out like this. Okay, I'm not gonna keep banging on the hammer and on video like that. It's noisy, and no need for that. So let me go ahead. I'm gonna shut this down for a second, and I'm going to beat the rest of them out, and then I'll bring you back in. Okay, so you can see I brought it over to the press, and really what I'm trying to do is this hub center here. I'm going to try to press that out and get it off of the rotor. So this, I don't believe that's going to be difficult. I think this is something I could probably just, lay it down on something and kind of support it up underneath here, and just, hit the middle with a sledgehammer and a 2x4 on there. But just because I don't know, I've not pulled these out before, I'll just go ahead and we'll do it like this. Oh, see, wasn't really that hard. Okay, so there's that. That wasn't terrible. All right. Okay, so let's grab this. And there you go. You can kind of see now the hub has separated from. Okay, there you go. There's the hub left. And here's your rotor, which we won't be using, but here's what we will be keeping. So there we go. So we've got our hub. This can now be cleaned and get the rust off of it, get it painted, and get it ready for reassembly as well. Okay, there's that. I'm going to do the other half off video. There's no sense doing the other half on here as well. So there you go. This we're coming pretty close to having these suspension parts completed and ready to go back together. So, all right. Talk to you next time. Bye.